Alright guys, so we sent our live well lid off, and I want to give this live well kind of a facelift, and I want it to be really functional. And I want to paint the inside of this live well like a light blue color. When my lid gets back, it'll be see-through acrylic, and with that light blue color it's going to look really nice. So I did notice a few things about this boat when I took the live well lid off, is that they didn't put any RTV on any of the screw holes they used to mount that piano hinge, which is a no-no. You should always use RTV whenever you put a screw into a hull of a boat, deck of a boat, anywhere, because what'll happen is the fiberglass over time, you make a hole this big, but over time what's going to happen is it's going to get this big, because it'll just waller itself out with no RTV in there. You know, it is fiberglass, and it'll just rattle and shatter and work itself loose till the screw won't hold anymore. But anyway guys, my goal is to make this live well kind of the centerpiece of the rear of the boat. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the inside of this light blue. I'm going to mount an underwater LED light in here so you can see your bait at night, and the finished product, we're going to have a see-through acrylic lid here, and it's going to be really cool. I think if you have a saltwater boat, you should always have a live well you can see your bait at all times. You know, make sure your pump's running, make sure your bait is still kicking, you know, because your day of fishing depends on whether or not, you know, your bait's alive. So we're going to give this thing an overhaul, and I'll just keep you posted as I go. I'll just kind of record as I do this and maybe give you guys some ideas. So at this time I'm going to go ahead and remove my screen for my overflow. Didn't want to let go. And let's see here at the bottom. I already took my spout for my water right here off. Got my, ooh, that's nasty, got a lot of trash back there. I'm gonna have to clean that again before I paint. Alright, so, and then I'm gonna take this little latch piece off here that the lid latches to, and then I'm gonna tape everywhere I don't want paint, and then I'm gonna paint. Alright guys, so for the color, we got a really light blue, a little bit darker than ice blue, and I've had a really hard time getting this inside clean with little pieces of dust and sand. Down there toward the plug, there's a lot of sand built up, and it seemed like I just couldn't get them all out, but I've wiped this thing out with alcohol over and over again, and I think I'm ready for some paint. So far it's looking really nice. I love that color, it's gonna look good. It's gonna look really good, really natural for the bait. Alright guys, so we got 2 coats of paint on. We got our overflow strainer installed. We got our plumbing for our discharge of our pump installed with the valve on it. We got our little latch hinge back screwed on here, and it looks really good. I'm just gonna undo the tape and just kind of see how it does. Hopefully we don't have any bleed throughs or run-ins. Hopefully it just comes out nice and clean. I always kind of get holding my breath when I undo this tape like this, because you never know how it turned out. But this is some pretty good tape. This is 3M painter's tape, so it's usually pretty good about holding a line and not bleeding through. And it looks really crisp and really clean. Wow, look at that line. That is very nice. Looks very good, professional. I'm very happy with that. Look at that crisp line across there. That looks really good. When I do get my new little piece of paint there, but when I do get my new lid, I hope that it comes with a rubber seal around the bottom of the hatch, because if it don't, it's just gonna clang and bang against this paint, and I'm not sure how that's gonna turn out. But the place that I got the lid from is called Boat Outfitters, and I seen them advertising on YouTube about the clear acrylic lids, and I wanted to get one because I've had problems with my bait dying, and I got an overflow tube because it was overflowing on my deck. And you know, I just wanted to be able to see into the lid. Like I said, your bait determines what kind of day you're gonna have out on the water when you're saltwater fishing. If you can't keep your bait alive, you can't see your bait and what's going on back there. Like, I can step up on the, you know, my helm here and turn around from the console and look back and see if the bait's still alive. And that's really important. So this is looking pretty good, guys, and this is looking really good and clean. Very nice line across here. Beautiful. Beautiful color. I told the guy I needed some kind of light blue paint, and he mixed up some paint for me. I gave him a white can of paint and I said I want it light blue, and this is what he gave me, and it looks very good. He did a very good job. So when I put the light in, guys, and my lid gets here, I'll continue making the video. Got one little piece of tape here, but yeah, it's looking good. Can't wait to get this thing covered with that lid. Alright guys, so I picked up this set of LED underwater lights from Academy, 12 volts, blue in color. I tested them on my battery already and they are really bright, and I'm gonna put these right here, probably in the center or down lower here on the live well. I got one up front and a live well in the rear here, and I'm gonna put these lights in here. And if you don't like drilling holes in your live well, you probably can't put these in, but you have to drill a hole through. Alright fellas, so I grabbed some marine silicone 5200. This is the fast cure version, and it says it cures in 24 hours. So whatever you do with this, you got to be pretty quick with it. They do have the 8-hour cure time, but any kind of 52 marine adhesive is great for any kind of through hole fitting or live well fitting, or anything you're gonna put through fiberglass. If you want to just dip your screws in there before you put them in fiberglass, 5200 is the way to go. And what I'm gonna do is just make a little bead around this livewell light, and then on the back side where the screws come through and the electrical wiring comes through, I'm just gonna beat it up real good. That way we don't have any water spilling out into the bilge of the boat and around the battery there. All right, let's get to it. So we're just gonna put us a little silicone on this rubber seal here and around this wiring. And I'm gonna pull the cord through. Alright, so I got the seal stuck on to the back side of the light, and I got some silicone into the hole where the wiring is. Now I have to drill 2 pilot holes to put my 2 set screws on the side edges of the light in place. So I'm just gonna go ahead and drill these pilot holes and put these screws in. Another thing that's very important is whenever you put your 2 set screws into this LED light, you want to go ahead and coat them in marine silicone also, so that they hold real strong and they don't move around and make the hole bigger from vibration. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now, and then I'm going to put these screws in. Alright, next we're going to reinforce these holes with some more 5200 silicone and just make sure we really get those gaps good and sealed up. Alright guys, so I took some silicone and just made a bead around the back side of that wire and through those screws, just to guarantee that we get no water through there. And if we do, we'll just have to come back and do it again, but that should hold it. I've got silicone on the front and back side of those holes, and we should be good to go. Now all I have to do for the light is just connect this end to some wires, run them through the deck and up to my switch, and we'll be ready to test it out. Alright guys, so it looks like I have one more switch available. So I'm gonna put us an inline fuse here. Probably a 5 amp fuse will be plenty enough for that particular LED light. And I'm just going to run my red wire to the switch and then run the black wire down to the common bus bar, and we should have power. I wasn't really going to get into an electrical part, a wiring part of this video, but I highly recommend putting an inline fuse on every one of your switches for the correct resistance or fuse load for each one. Alright guys, so we got everything splice connected in with heat shrink, and we've heated it up and shrunk it so that way salt water can't get into the ends. And here's the two ends where it's coming out of the LED light, and I've also got the ones up there by the switch done. So let's go ahead and cut the battery switch on, and we're gonna go up here and test it. I got all my stuff everywhere laid out here. Excuse the mess, but I think we was on the side lights switch, so I got it on and it's got power, so we did that part right. I'm gonna walk back here and check our light, and it's on. You know, it's super bright out here, so we really can't really tell how bright it is right now, but I tested it at night earlier and it was very bright, so there we go. Alright, so one of the most important things that you could ever do when you do a job like this on a live well is to look down there and make sure that it's not leaking. So the hole that you made for your wire and the hole that you made for your screws, we want to just double check that and make sure it's not leaking. So I already got my hole plugged down there, and I got my light covered with water well over the line where it's going to leak. And I'm just going to go to the other side here and check and make sure I'm not leaking anything. So this thing has been well set over 24 hours, so that 5200 has had time to seal, so it looks good. You know, when you got salt water in your live wells, even if you got stainless steel nuts and bolts, you know, they still will rust. Check that one out right there. I need to get some rust remover on that. Alright, so we're all done. We got the leak test done, and I filled it all the way to the top with water. So when I turn this light on, we're just trying to get an idea of what it's going to look like at night. And it's in the evening time. It's not quite dark yet, but it's just enough for the GoPro to pick up the low light. So we're going to go with it, and boom. Check that out, bruh. How sick is that? Plenty of light. Looks very good, and it's not even all the way dark yet, so when it is dark out here, I mean, it's gonna light up this whole boat back here. And I did put one in the front using the same method. The only difference is the one in the front's smaller and it's not painted, it's just white. So yeah, man, it looks good. Very happy with it. You guys take care, be blessed, peace out.